3 Cup Series championships, 37 career wins, a guaranteed spot in the Hall of Fame the second he retires. So how is Joey Logano right now running worse than a backmarker team with no sponsor? Something is very wrong inside the number 22, and even Denny Hamlin can't stay quiet about it anymore. The numbers are honestly hard to believe. Logano has finished 30th or worse in 4 races in a row. 4. The last time he did anything close to this was back in 2009, when he was just a rookie driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. That was 17 years ago. So this is the worst stretch he's had in nearly 2 decades. And remember, this is a guy who just won the championship back in 2024. Right now, Logano sits 18th in the points. That puts him outside the playoff cutoff. He is 38 points behind the cut line. That is a big hole to climb out of. Out of the 12 races run this season, he has been 30th or worse in 6 of them. That is half the season. His average finish for the year is 21, and if it stays there, it will be the worst of his entire Cup career. So how did things fall apart so fast? Let's walk through it. The trouble started last month at Kansas, where he finished 30th. The next week at Talladega, he was running up front in the lead pack when a huge 2-6 car crash collected him. Then came Texas, and this one really hurt. His race ended early when he slammed into Cole Custer's car on pit road. Before that wreck, his car was actually fast. Logano said, "I look at Texas before we got in that pit road wreck speed was there, car was fast. Arguably the fastest car that last run as we were trying to get our way through the field. So the speed was there, but the finish wasn't." Then came Watkins Glen, which was supposed to be his fresh start. And for a while, it looked great. He qualified 6th, his best road course start since 2024. He even finished stage 1-inch second place. Things were finally clicking. Then on lap 60, his left front tire blew out. He spun off the track and into the runoff zone. The team tried to fix it on pit road, but the damage was too much. The car had to go behind the wall for big repairs. He ended up 15 laps down and dead last in 38th place. That was actually the second time he has ever finished last in a Cup race at Watkins Glen. Before that race, Logano was already talking about how unusual this stretch is for him. He said, "It's not far off of where we've been in the past." I don't think we've had a stretch of races this tough, though. This is probably a little more extreme than we've had. Coming from a 3-time champ, that's a pretty big admission. And now Denny Hamlin is starting to worry too. On his podcast called Actions Detrimental, Hamlin talked about how strange this slump looks. He said, "They are leaking oil, holy cow." Right? Did they just have a mechanical issue? I know they had a tire, right? Then he made his real point. Hamlin said, I think only 1 or 2 of those 30 finishes were warranted because of actual performance. But no, they can't afford. They're not running good enough to be doing this. Having other issues that's making them finish poorly. So Logano 18th? That is a surprise. That is a pretty strong statement from Hamlin. He is basically saying the team has had bad luck, but they also are not fast enough to keep getting away with it. That is a tough spot to be in. Here is where things get even harder for Logano. NASCAR changed the championship format for 2026. The old system was called Win and You're In. Win 1 race during the regular season, and you got a playoff spot. Logano was a master at that system. He won all 3 of his titles using it. But the new format is different. Now it rewards drivers who are fast every single week. Consistency is king. And right now, Logano just doesn't have that. You can really see the problem when you look at the other Team Penske drivers. Ryan Blaney has an average finish of 13.1 and sits 4th in the points. Austin Cindric is at 19. Logano is at 21, the worst of the 3. Same team, same cars, same engineers, but very different results. Even other Ford drivers are doing better. Chris Buescher is at 11.3. Brad Keselowski is at 13.3. Ryan Preece is at 13.8. To make it worse, Blaney just signed a long-term contract extension with Penske. So while one teammate is locking in his future, the other is fighting just to make the playoffs. There is one more number that hurts. Logano has gone 36 races without a win. His last victory was way back in May 2025 at Texas, a full year ago. For a driver who has built his career on knowing how to win when it matters most, that is a long, dry spell. But hold on, because there is still hope. Let's not write Logano off yet. Remember 2024? During his last championship run, Logano was 17th in the regular season points after the Coca-Cola 600 on Memorial Day weekend. He looked finished. Then he turned the season around and won the whole thing. So he has done this before. And Hamlin actually still believes in him. After all the worry, Hamlin said, "I think he's got enough dog in him. I do. I do." I think that, it wouldn't be a big surprise. Would it be out of character? Yes. But not a big surprise for him to go and qualify inside the top 4 at a track a few weeks from now, get about a 55-point day, and then next thing you know, he's right back there, right where he was. So I think they're capable. A 5-point day. That is what Hamlin thinks could flip everything. One huge weekend with a win, stage points, and a strong finish, and suddenly Logano is back in the mix. There are other reasons to feel okay too. His crew chief is Paul Wolfe, who has won 3 championships of his own. That driver and crew chief combo is one of the best in the garage. And road courses used to be a weak spot for Penske. But at Watkins Glen, all 3 Penske cars started in the top 10. So the speed is showing up, even if the finishes are not. Now here is the big question. Who are the drivers Logano has to beat to grab a playoff spot? The 2 drivers sitting on the bubble right now are Austin Cindric and Shane Van Gisbergen. Just ahead of Logano is Chase Briscoe in 17th. Just behind him is Ross Chastain in 19th. AJ Allmendinger is in 20th. None of these drivers are running away with their spots. Logano said it himself when talking about his approach. He said, "We were in that mode anyways. You have to look at any of these races these days like, okay, how do you maximize your day? Is that by finishing well or creating the most points possible?" That is the new mindset for the new format. Every single race matters. Every stage point matters. There are 14 races left in the regular season. That is plenty of time, but it is also not a ton of time. One more bad weekend, and that 3-8-point gap could grow into something almost impossible to fix, especially with Shane Van Gisbergen heating up. NASCAR has 2 road courses coming up in late June, and SVG is the best road course racer in the field. He is about to climb the standings fast. So this is where Joey Logano stands. A 3-time champion, a future Hall of Famer, outside the playoffs, out of speed, out of luck, and running out of races. He has been here before, and he has come back before, but the rules have changed, and the road back is steeper than ever.